Hey guys, welcome to the email marketing blueprint. I'm really excited to have you here, and this is probably going to be one of the blueprints that is going to make you the most money in the whole Authority Hacker Pro. So if you just started collecting subscribers and you're not exactly sure what to do with them, this is the place to be. Now let's just talk about why you're creating an email list. And the goal is very simple. It's time to monetize. The way we run authority sites is that we put a lot of value in the front end. The websites are literally just helping people, and once in a while mentioning products inside content, or maybe sometimes you're doing a few product reviews, but really the site looks like it's really giving a lot of value. And then at this time, it's when it's time for you to actually pay yourself back for putting all that effort into that site and making money. And that has a clear advantage, and the advantage is by making a site that doesn't look extremely monetized, then it's much easier to get shares, to get links, and to get traffic to your site because you're helping people out. And as you get the email of the people that are the most engaged, then you can monetize these people and pay for the whole site this way. So it's very, very clear that we're trying to make money out of that email list. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to make the experience of the user bad. If we make it bad, we will actually make less money in the end. So we want to, make sure the user has a good experience, but we don't want to shy away from selling through email. Now, there is really two ways that email marketing has traditionally been run by most people. The first way is the soft way, where people would just sign up and then receive a blog post and a blog post and a blog post. And often people would build these very, very long autoresponders, these like 1 year autoresponders, that just email all their old blog posts. And they would hope that people would click through these blog posts, read the blog post, and find a couple of product mentioned in there and then just buy, or that they would click on the ads if they have ads, right? And it's kind of nice because, it's really, really nice to a subscriber. It's just like giving a lot more free value and scooping value their way, which is a nice thing to do, especially if you're trying to build a brand, and it doesn't piss them off for sure. The problem is you won't make much money. The truth is we ran that system on Health Ambition for a while. And at some point, the email marketing cost was higher than the money we were making out of it. So you need to find a way to actually monetize a bit more to make more money, while taking away that doing this brings a lot of value and builds really big fans, and it's quite important for your brand and for your authority site. Now, there's the other way that is the hard selling way, where you would sign up for an email list because you would get a free video or something, and you would realize this video is a sales video, and you would sell, and sometimes you'd get a blog post and sell. And the good news is, that actually does make money, and we actually ran our email list that way as well at some point on Health Ambition, and we had some pretty good months running that way. But the bad news is, actually our email list was shrinking when we were running that tactic, because people don't want to be sold to all the time. They want to get value out of being on your email list, and you basically earn the right to promote to them by giving them value first. And so if you're really selling all the time, there's no reason for them to keep opening your emails, keep clicking and buying anything, because you're just basically a new advertisement thing for them. So it's not something that they want. So what we can retain from this lesson is selling makes money via email. It probably is what makes the most money. There is a stat out there that says that every dollar invested in email marketing results in $43 for the company. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the case for you, but even if you get half of that, that's pretty good. So what we've done is we built a blueprint that learns from both of these ways of running email marketing, and as usual, includes a lot of hacks and tips and tricks and automation in that case to get the best of both worlds, essentially. So let's look at today's blueprint. And as you can see, it doesn't fit in the screen perfectly because, it was too big actually. But don't be shied away from this graph. It's not that complicated. So let's just look at what happens to a subscriber when they opt in, right? You can see on the top, people will opt in either via a content upgrade, and if you don't know what these are, we have a blueprint for that, via an opt-in pop-up, which we also have a blueprint about, and they might be opting in from a squeeze page. If you're doing paid advertising and retargeting, you're going to be using a squeeze page. And so in all these three cases, people are going to be opting in to get a lead magnet, some piece of content that you've promised in exchange for their contact information. when they actually put their email in, they enter your email marketing automation software, and they get delivered a lead magnet. They get delivered what you promised them, hopefully, and hopefully it brings value. It gives them what they wanted, because if your lead magnet is not good enough, the rest of this whole thing is not gonna work very well. So they get the lead magnet, but what happens then? Does it stop here? Absolutely not. So the first thing that we do is, if you look on the left of the graph, you will see that there is a welcome sequence, and the welcome sequence takes your brand new subscribers and walks them through what you're all about and sends them some of your best content. So that's where we find the element of the old soft autoresponder, where we send some content all the time, except we're not doing it forever. We're sending like an email every day for a week, basically, that not only just sends your best content, but also gets people to follow you on social media, for example, or whitelist your emails, or to actually reply to you with problems that they have. And that's really huge if you are doing direct sales for services, for example. You can really get a lot of clients that way. So the welcome sequence is here to make them warm and fuzzy, open your emails, follow you on social, check some free content, and like what you are doing. Then there's another thing that they get added to at the same time, which is called a pre-sales sequence. And the pre-sales sequence, well, you don't necessarily have to have it, but if you want to make money, it's advised. And it's basically promoting something that is related to a lead magnet they have downloaded. So if I take an example on Authority Hacker, for example, I was running this as when I was selling this product called Double Your Leads. And what I did is I created a lead magnet that gave the 9 best tools to build your email list as a PDF. And people would just put their email and get a PDF that says, here are the 9 tools I use, and I collected over 30,000 emails in 6 months with it. And then what would happen is, as a follow-up of that, they would get an email sequence that sells them on a list building course I've created called Double Your Leads back then, that is now integrated into Authority Hacker Pro. And actually, I think I wrote a case study about that on Authority Hacker. But when we just launched that sequence, out of 301 emails, we made a little bit over $3,000. So it was really good. Obviously, the revenue dropped a little bit later, so don't expect to necessarily make this kind of money. But that gives you an idea of what the pre-sale sequence does. It says, okay, I know what you wanted from the lead magnet. Now let me sell you the upgrade to that. And that's what it is. And because people have gone all the way through giving their contact information, you kind of allow yourself to promote for 3 to 14 days, depending on what you're selling. If you're selling a high-ticket item, sometimes emailing for 2 weeks, not necessarily every day, every 2 or 3 days maybe, is going to be a good idea. If you're selling something cheap, then 3-4 emails is usually enough. Otherwise, you're gonna start pissing people off. They don't want your $7 product, they don't want it. But basically, it allows you to monetize directly as people opt in. Now, if we look on the right side of the graph, people also enter a cleanup sequence. Now, that cleanup sequence actually does nothing for 2 or 3 months initially. It just waits. And after people have been on your list for, I put 2 months in a sequence I'm gonna give you, it actually goes and checks, did they open any of the emails I sent to them? And if they did, then it basically goes back into waiting 2 months again and ask that question every 2 months for a subscriber. Did they open an email? Did they open an email? Did they open an email? And if they did not open an email, it basically sends them a sequence that asks them if they still want to be a subscriber. It asks them 3 times, first in the software, and in the last email it's basically, well, it's the last time I'm going to email you unless you click this link. And if they don't click anything, if they don't open anything, then you are going to actually unsubscribe them from your email list. You're going to stop emailing them, and you are not going to be promoting to them anymore. And the reason why is because if you email people and they don't open your emails, then that could flag your domain as spam. And that's why there is something called double opt-in normally. When people opt in for a lead magnet, they have to go and confirm their email inside their email box, and they have to click one of these links. I'm sure you've seen this before. Well, we actually don't run that because you lose a lot of leads doing that. You lose about 30 or 40% of people. And some of these people are perfectly legitimate people. They just don't understand the double opt-in. So this sequence basically replaces that. It removes the people that don't read your emails anyway, and it allows you to just have a list of engaged people. You know that everyone you're emailing has been opening your emails in the last 2 months. And that's exactly why we run this sequence. You put people right in, but really it's just going to do everything automatically. And as you will see, we actually give you a one-click import sequence in the lesson. So you don't even have to build it. It's all going to be done for you. Now, the third thing that we have is the segmentation list. The segmentation list is a list of people who are not yet customers. They are people who have been opting in for a lead magnet, but they have not bought anything yet. And if they buy something, you're going to start putting them into different lists, and we're going to talk about that into the list versus tag lesson. But in that segmentation list, what you are going to do is you're going to email it regularly with 4 types of emails to essentially, put them in front of more offers eventually, but do it in a way that looks like it's a valuable thing for your subscriber. So let's talk about these 4 types of email. And the first one is a very simple one. It's emailing new blog posts or new content to your subscribers. That's something that I do all the time with you guys on Authority Hacker. I email you when I do a new blog post. Now, what I haven't done a lot on Authority Hacker, but I've done quite a bit on Health Ambition, is the retargeting sequence following that. Because a lot of people say, well, emailing blog posts doesn't monetize. How does it align with your goal of monetizing your email list? Well, there is a cool little automation that I have called the retargeting sequence that basically takes the people that visit your new blog post, waits for 24 hours, and then emails them a related promotion. So let's imagine that I make a blog post about growing your Twitter account on Authority Hacker. I email it to the segmentation list, and then maybe 20% of people click through and go read the article. That'd be pretty good, actually. So 20% out of the 10,000 people we have on the list, so 2,000 people click through and read the blog post. These 2,000 people then get added to an automation that says, okay, I see that you have been reading this blog post. And then it just waits 24 hours and then it says, hey, how did you like the Twitter post yesterday? By the way, if you really want to speed things up, check out Tweet Attacks Pro, for example. And that would be a promotion for a related product or like a own product from your site that sells them on that. And it's okay to sell it to them because they have shown that they are interested in growing their Twitter account enough to open the previous email, click through, and read the article. While the 8,000 people that didn't read the article, they are actually not getting these promos. So you're actually not burning your list like you would in the old school way of pitching stuff. You are sending promotions to the people that have shown interest in the topics. And that's the power of blogging regularly and emailing your blog posts to your list. You can actually make decent money out of that. Then another thing that we recommend you do is webinars. Webinars is something that you might be a little bit shy doing, and I understand that, but the good news is there is something called JV webinars where you can actually invite product owners to do webinars to your email list, and that's something that's very frequent, especially for information products. And people just come in and do a webinar. You just be the host and you say, hey guys, welcome, I am the website owner. This is, and you introduce that person, he's going to teach you about and this, and then you just let that person do all the pitching for you, and you can just invite people to a webinar, handle the tech. I talk a little bit about it in the lesson, and at the end of the webinar, you have a pitch for a product. Usually the more expensive products are sold via webinar, and I'll show you a case study of us converting at 10% with a webinar actually, so that's pretty good. But most importantly, when you email your list about this webinar, you email them about the content they are gonna get. So once again, it looks like something valuable, even if in the end it actually yields into making money and sales. So that's really the overarching theme of the broadcast emails is like, well, it looks like content, but actually there is monetization for the people that engage with it. Then there is the promo email. Well, in that case, that's actually a direct promo. That's the old school promo to your list. And that's something that we recommend you do not too much. I would probably do it like once or twice a month maximum. I personally do it once a month maximum. And you need to be very precise in what you're going to promote. It doesn't make sense all the time, and we're going to talk about that in the lesson, when it makes sense, when it doesn't make sense to promote to your entire list versus doing something that's a little bit more indirect, like the blog post or the lead magnet or the webinar, right? And finally, we're going to use the last sequence, the lead magnet sequence, when you have new pre-sale sequence. So the pre-sale sequence, as opposed to the retargeting, which is just one email, the pre-sale sequence are usually, like, as I said, 3 to 14 days. So 3 to 14 emails sometimes you can put in your pre-sale sequence. Now, if you were sending 14 emails about the same product to your list when they haven't expressed interest, that would be a lot. So, and if you send 14 emails to people that read a blog post, That would be a lot too. They've just been reading a blog post. That's light engagement. That's why we only send one email. So what we do is, when we want to put people into longer sales sequences, we release lead magnets. And lead magnets, we then email that opt-in page to our email list and we ask them to re-opt-in. They land on the landing page, it says download this free thing, and they click on the button and they have to re-enter the email. The people that are willing to do that, they are primed to be promoted a longer or more expensive product because they are taking more action than the people that would just read a blog post. So you can put them into a pre-sale sequence if you are releasing new pre-sale sequence, and that's basically the whole cycle, cycling again through the lead magnet sequence, and there is an offer at the end. So you see that pretty much everything leads to money, but everything also almost looks like content to your subscribers. The blog post looks like content, the lead magnet looks like content, the webinar looks like content, and unless they engage, they don't get promoted to. So that's really the power of this email marketing blueprint. We have been writing every single template for you, so you'll be able to just fill the blanks. We have been creating every single sequence and automation for you. So if you use ActiveCampaign, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide, you are actually able to import everything in one click and release it on your business. So that's basically it. And let's just talk about ActiveCampaign right now, actually. ActiveCampaign is my tool of choice, and you are going to get a lot more out of this blueprint if you use it. The good news is it starts at $9 per month. Now, it's a little bit more expensive than a Aweber or GetResponse, but it's as powerful as $500 a month tools. It's really, really powerful. It's really a league above these cheapest tools. And as I said, I have created everything for you to import inside ActiveCampaign. I might add it for other tools in the future if I find tools that I find are good enough for this. And if that's the case, then don't worry, I'll let you know and I'll add more. But really, ActiveCampaign is affordable. It starts at $9 per month. It's powerful, as good as Infusionsoft and Entreport. And most importantly, it's easy to use. Most of the advanced email marketing tools, they're very not just expensive, but very, very complicated to use. It takes days to deploy anything. Well, ActiveCampaign is much, much easier, and as a result, you will use it more and hopefully make more money. So I highly, highly recommend you get it. Trust me, I don't do this for affiliate marketing. This is the least paying affiliate program out there, like 3 times less than most other tools. I recommend it because I believe you will get better results with it. So I highly recommend you get it. Otherwise, you will be able to access every single template as a Google Doc. So if you want to use another tool, you can still do that, and you will still have access to pretty much everything that ActiveCampaign users have. So that's basically my little pitch about ActiveCampaign. I'm not gonna push it further. Let's just get started with the blueprint. Below, guys, there is 18 lessons with a lot of templates for you to get started with your email marketing blueprint. So I'll see you guys inside the lessons.